Welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Today we've got two cars to fix. This lovely electric car on the left and a kind of boy racer car on the right. So we're going to look at the 2013 Autotutto Lavetino. Nowhere near correct. And then we've got the Emden Jager from 1983 afterwards. Both have got parts we need to find, so we're in for a little bit of fun trying to find what's wrong with things. But first, the electric car. Now, got to remember, engine is in the back. We're going to speed through the obvious, checking everything out, examination mode. And once that's done, we'll then be able to have a look at what we need to look at. But yeah, I always forget with electric cars, the engine is in the back, not the front. And we have to open up, there's normally an engine cover. See the battery there. I always forget about the battery cover on the back. It's just one of those engine cover, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's just not in where I'd expect it to be. Now, with electric cars, there are some issues. You can't do a compression test. Obviously, the engine isn't a combustible engine, so it doesn't work the same. I'm looking forward to when we actually get around to building one of these, when we find one in a scrapyard or a barn or something like that. That could be quite an interesting project. But we can see there's a lot of problems with this engine. We need the battery modules to be sorted, ECU, ABS module as well, cables. They all need sorting out by the looks of it. I don't know if we can fix any of those either. There's not very many electronic parts you can fix. Let's have a look at the multimeter now. Yeah, not too bad. A couple of ones in the 70s, but that's not too bad. Oh, there's a 29 as a battery. And that's the main battery, I believe. Now we have got a battery charger. So that should be okay. We'll do the wheels. I don't think the wheels have got any issues. We'll check the tyre treads anyway. So there's an extra test, extra XP. All helps towards gaining more skill points. Okay, so we know the battery needs to come out, it needs charging. We do have a battery charger now. So we just got to have a look. I'm not massively afraid of these electric engines, so I need to have a proper look where things are. Obviously that's the gearbox. Cables, you can see the browned cable there. That's the one we need to replace. Proton ER. That's where everything else is here. You can actually see the battery modules that are damaged as well inside. You can just look down into the middle of the car. The ones that are black, I think, are the ones that need a little bit of work. Need replacing. Right, what can we take off that maybe would help us find where these other parts are? As I say, we've not really worked on many electric cars, or not to this degree. I think we've done brakes previously on one, and that was about it. So yeah, the electric engines are definitely new to us. And they're not overly complicated once you know what you're looking for and where to look. And I think that's the big thing, is just making sure you're looking in the right places. So that's the controller. Okay. Got the battery, we've got the cable. We'll put the battery on charge. Well, actually, let's go and see if we can fix anything first. No, didn't think we could. I did wonder that. We haven't got the high enough skill to actually fix the engine cover. Not that I think we could fix it anyway, to be fair. Right, let's have a look at what parts need doing. So engine does not start. That's the EV battery module. The battery is the engine fault. ECU type B as well. It's got brake problems as well. I didn't spot that. We'll discover those. ABS module obviously needs sorting. So I'm assuming brake pads or brake calipers will need looking at as well. But we've got to lift the car to get the battery modules off by the looks of things. And it's a case of figuring out where we get into places. Not this minute, I'm not massively au fait. We've already examined everything. I'm just trying to see where the red parts are to kind of give us an idea of where things are that need looking at. I always press the wrong button to come out of that. yeah, we need new cables. That's added to the shopping list. Battery can go on a battery charger. I should have done that earlier, to be fair. You don't actually have to put them on the battery charger for long. Literally, you put it on, you can take it straight off and it'll be 100% charged. That's where the realism kind of disappears a little bit. There we go. That'll be a 100% charged battery there. You'd kind of think it would take a bit of time, but I suppose if you put it on, that's the only thing you have to do. It's a bit annoying to have to wait forever for it to be sorted. We're going to get a new engine cover. I'm not sure if that's on the list or not, to be honest. But while we're here, it would make sense. We need the cables. They're in electronics. I did put it on twice. It doesn't matter. Engine cover. This may be going a little bit above and beyond, maybe. But I don't know for sure. Engine cover is out in the body shop. Trying to see if I can see it. Ah, there we go. I wasn't sure if that'd be on the body shop or not. I suppose it makes sense, but it's inside the body. I don't know. It's one of those weird ones. Right, we need to actually put things back. So let's put the battery back. Still trying to. We put the cable on actually. There we go. Where are these other modules? I know we've got the modules underneath the car. Engine cover can go back on. I'm not sure 100% if we've finished there. I think the ABS is in the front. So that's something we can look at shortly. But let's deal with these battery modules. They're the big thing to look at. And they are actually underneath the car. We also need to look at brakes. That's the other big thing. And you can see straight away the battery modules. All 4 of them are damaged. All in the red. So even if they can be repaired, which I don't know if they can be, we're probably on enough high enough level anyway, but they're red. So I assume they can't be fixed, but I don't know for definite. Let's have a look at the battery charger. No, you can't charge them or anything there. I did wonder if you could charge them as their batteries. Oh, they can actually be fixed. The red ones can't, but one can because it's only orange. But we're not high enough level. That kind of was to be expected, but I wanted to check. So we need 4 of these. Now, I don't know how much these are going to be. We've only got 7,800 to spend on this car. I've got a bad feeling that these are going to be really expensive, but we're about to find out. Oh, that is expensive. And we need 4 of them. So that's £5,700 on 4 modules. Electric cars are expensive. Imagine if you got an electric car in to fix and every battery module needs replacing. That would bankrupt you. But yeah, at least we know now. They are very expensive parts. I'm looking forward to finally getting all the discounts in the shop. That would help massively. We haven't got those currently. But that is the battery modules done. We do need to look at ABS. What else do we need? We need brakes, don't we? That's a very good point. Is there anything else we can see from here? ECU Type B. We've got to do that from the compartment, engine compartment. Well, not the engine compartment, the boot. Do you call the front of the car the boot? Because the engine compartment's at the back. So is the front called the boot? I don't know. But we can see straight away the brake pad, not brake pad, brake disc has gone. Brake pads are okay. The disc is no good. It's red. I'm not sure if we can put that on our lathe, to be fair. We'll have to check. That's one of the brake issues. I think there's 4 in total, from what I remember. This one looks like calipers have gone, as well as brake disc. And that brake disc is probably high enough to be fixed. Unlike the first one. I don't know for definite. We'll have to have a look. That brake caliper needs sorting out. Ventilated brake disc, that's off. Right, we look. I think one more brake issue. Let's have a look. Is it going to be this one? Are we going to get lucky and get it first time? And I might. Yes, brake pads. They need replacing there. Right, there's a brake. There's that. Is that all the brake issues? I think we'll take this off just to check. But I believe that's everything. I just don't want to miss something and have to come back. Yeah, I think Brake caliper looks good. Brake pads look okay. Brake disc is fine. Yeah, wheel back on. It's just the other three we need to sort out by the looks of things. I don't mind spending that extra bit of time just double checking these things just in case. Right. So we've done the battery module. We've still got one part for the engine not discovered. We've got to figure out what that is. Yeah. And all the brake. Oh, there's still a brake issue not discovered. Okay. That's interesting. So I think we'll start by putting the brake discs on the lathe and see what happens there. Oh, we can only do one. I did have a feeling this first one we took off was in the red. I didn't know if it could be fixed or not, but obviously not. So that answers that question for us. While we're waiting for the lathe, if you're enjoying the series, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss any content. I'm thoroughly enjoying this game. It's become a passion. And obviously I'm massively ahead in episodes recorded. So there's lots of really good stuff coming in terms of building our own cars and things like that. Or rebuilding cars, I should say. Brake caliper. Now this needs looking at. Or does it? Is this the one we need to fix? I can't remember without going in. I doubt. Can't fix brake pads. I know that anyway. That's fine. I don't know if we've got anything brake-wise in here. I'm only still really getting used to our warehouse and how to use it and utilise it. We haven't got much in it, to be fair. We need to do a barn find or something, I think, and then we can actually put some parts we've fixed in there. But I don't want to go to a barn until we can fix everything, if that makes sense. Just because I think it'd be a bit of a waste if we go and can't fix everything. So I'm kind of holding off. Right, back to the car. I'm kind of just jabbering on. So brake pads we need a brake caliper itself, brake disc ventilator because we can't fix that. And I think everything else is okay. Yeah, they're yellow. I don't think they're on the list. I think we're going to be okay. 72% minimum. So I think we're going to be alright. I think. Could be completely off on that though. There's still some parts not discovered. Brake issue not discovered. What could it be? We've got the ABS module still needs to be checked. That needs replacing anyway. Could be the ABS pump. That could be the other thing. Possibly. And normally you can't test for it, so I possibly could be. I'm only guessing, which we'll find out shortly. Brake caliper, got to buy these. Money's going down. Luckily, brake disc ventilator isn't that expensive. That's our shopping list done. So, let us put everything back that we've found so far. Starting with the brake disc ventilator. We did fix one, we bought a new one as well. Brake pads. Now, were these slightly worn? We'll put the new ones on. I think that's okay. Caliper back on and the wheel. Perfect. One wheel done. Good to go. I can see something brown in the front there. It's a radiator. So maybe the radiator is one of the things we're missing. Not sure. We have to lower the car down anyway to look at that. Slight misclick by me there. But yeah, the radiator we can look at from I want to say the boot, but it's wrong to call the boot when it's at the front. That makes sense. It's just a weird one. We're using an older brake caliper on this one. I'm pretty sure I can't remember this. No, this I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure we don't get it wrong in terms of it says it's not fixed because we put the brand new part on something that didn't need replacing. If that makes sense. Sometimes it does not count as fixed if you use old parts that aren't over the minimum percentage. They are okay. They're over it, so it should be okay. The wheel back on. And that is that bit done. We do need to look in the trunk engine bay. I don't know what to call it. Confusing myself. There's definitely an issue with the radiator by the looks of things. We still got one paired engine fault, and we still need to do the ECU, and we still got a brake issue. I think the brake issue is going to be the ABS pump. We've still got the module to deal with. So, in this bay, there is the ABS module that we need to do, and the cooling fan. So I don't know if the fan must count as the engine, maybe? There we go. You can see straight away, ABS module's on the list anyway to be fixed, but the pump has also gone. So that should be our last brake issue dealt with. But it won't show up until we take it off. That's the thing with the ABS pump. You can't necessarily test for it. We're just going to... I don't know if I need to drain the brake servo to take it off. Do I risk a spillage? I don't know. I'm kind of in two minds. Let's take it off, and if we have to pay a fine, we pay a fine. No, we don't. Okay. So you can actually take the brake pump off and not get a fine. I wasn't sure, mainly because if you take a water pump away and you haven't drained the coolant, you get a fine. I did wonder if the ABS pump would be the same, but it's not. So that's something at least. That could have been, I think it's about a £50 fine for spilling any sort of liquid. There is a trophy, which we'll probably get last, because I'm not going to do it on purpose, unless I'm trying to achieve a trophy, and that is to spill oil on the floor. So far, touch wood, we haven't done it. One day though, we'll have to. Okay, we need to get back into this compartment and put in the ABS. The ABS is quite expensive. We're down to £331 left now. They're quite expensive parts, but they generally mean you make good money back when you replace them. Well, it has done so far. So hopefully it's still the case. There we go. ABS module done. Right. Still need to double check stuff. So, still an engine issue. Could be the radiator, if it counts as the engine. We need to do the ECU Type B, but the brake issues are all solved. We did see the ECU. It's there. And it is gone. You can see it's gone. Let's take it out. Can we fix it? I don't know. Let's have a look. No. Can't be fixed. So we're going to need to buy one. We are very short on money at this point. Hopefully it's not too expensive. We reckon. Give me electronics. There we go. Oh, that's a little bit expensive. Okay, if we sell the bits we've got here, will it give us enough to fix the car? I honestly thought when we started this car we had plenty of money to fix it. But the battery modules cost so much money. If it wasn't for those, we'd be okay. Right, there we go. New ECU Type B. I'm now worried that we're not going to have enough money for the radiator if that's the last thing we need to replace. Okay, ECU done. Now, we've got to drain the coolant to even look at the radiator. I think. You can't do anything with the examination. But it's the last thing we need is the engine faults. I just don't know if would a radiator class as an engine fault. It's a cooling issue, but obviously it doesn't come up as a cooling issue. So that would be my guess. Not that one. The green one. We're going to have to drain it. I can't risk a fine. We haven't got the money to risk a fine, to be fair. So we'll drain the coolant and then we'll have a look at this radiator. I've got a feeling that may count as an engine part, which is why it needs replacing. So we'll take off the housing and the radiator A. Now, if we look on our list, it will now show up. It is. Okay, so the engine counts as a engine part. I wasn't 100% sure. Kind of makes sense. We can fix the housing and we can fix the radiator. Oh, this might save us some money if we don't mess up. Oh, we did it in one. 100% success. We're going to fix... No, we're not. There's no point fixing the other stuff because they don't need replacing. So, radiator's done. That saved us an absolute fortune of being able to fix that part. That's where fixing is ideal. You can save yourself a lot of money. I'm not sure how much a radiator is, but I probably didn't have it in the bank. So that is done. We need to refill the coolant. And then I think we might be done. That might be an electric car. Done. And I know it's not the first electric car, but it's the first one we've actually looked at the engine more than we have done previously. I think brake issue last time. I don't think it was a major big thing. Or is this the first electric? I can't actually remember now. But car doesn't start fixed, repair all engine faults, lack of engine power, done. So we can send the car back to the owner, get rid of the ECU, got a little bit of money left over, or we can send it back. Yeah, everything's done. It's just about writing things down, working out the costings. Front wheel sizes are mismatched. Oh. Does this mean this had different tyres on the front to the back? Different sizes, maybe? I've not seen that before. We did take the left rear off and the two front tyres, so I think there's a slight difference in tyre, but I don't know what the difference is. The rims are the same size. Yeah, the rims are all the same, but there's obviously an issue with the tyre. We're going to have to swap one of these two front ones with the rear, which will solve our issue. We need to have a look at sizes, I think. Take all three off, and then we can see what two are the same, and the one that's left over will be the left rear then. I think that makes sense. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was done. Let's take this one off, and we'll have a look. It's an interesting one. I hadn't actually paid attention to tyre size, I just assumed they were all the same. And no, there is a difference, isn't there? So the rear is a 235. And then the fronts are a 205. So it's quite a big difference. I just hadn't noticed it. When I put these wheels back on, though, we'll go through how much we spent, profit. So on this Autotutto Lavetino, we spent £8,078 on parts to fix it. That's a lot. Considering it wasn't a story car, it was a normal customer car. That is a lot of money to spend on fixing a car. The battery modules did it for us. They are so expensive. But when we hand the car back to the owner, we will actually make £6,334. That's not bad. Time-wise, it didn't take us too long. Obviously, we struggled to find a few things. But yeah, the money was worth it. It's a decent profit. We're now at £14,500 in the bank. And we're going to start this Emden Jager. So it can't be started. We need to drain the oil and re-sort it. We've got front shock absorbers. Suspension feels loose. Suspension feels loose, we know is our best friend. It's normally the bushes. They're always the fun one to do. But we're going to do a quick examination, as you can see. We're zooming through it now, just to see what issues we can find. I don't think there's much major wrong with it. We're going to zoom through some of our testing as well, because a lot of this, although I think we just did find something, but a lot of it's unneeded. It's more for XP. And in fact, I think we just leveled up. So we found the vehicle can't be started because the relay type A in the fuse box needs changing. It's a nice, easy, quick one to find. Once we get it shut, there we go, it's red. Don't think fuses can be fixed. I think pumps can, but fuses can't, if I remember correctly. It's getting used to what can and can't be fixed. We're going to need to know for when we do the barn fights and things, what we can bring back, what can be fixed, what can't be. If we get that wrong, we're going to lose money. We don't want to be losing money. So we do need to try and remember what can and can't be. Okay, fuse box cover back on. So the car can now be started. We've done the fuse. Perfect. Right, what else? We couldn't do a compression test because it wouldn't start. So we'll do it now. More XP again. I'm always happy to gain XP, even if it's not really needed to test anything. Although there is a piston that is very low, 49%. Please don't be a piston issue. If it's a piston issue, we've got to take the engine out. And I don't want it to be a piston issue. I think it's over its minimum percentage, which might be alright. The fuel side of things, we're just testing for fuel pump is low, that's 49% as well. Does that need doing? So relay's done, engine oil needs changing. No, wheel hub bearing, front shock absorber A, sway bar front end link A, and a part not discovered. Okay. So piston doesn't need sorting out, and the fuel pump doesn't need sorting out either. So we now know that. So we don't need to play around, take the engine out or anything silly. We can try and find the suspension issues, the one we're missing. Do I need to take? No, we don't need to take it out. I'm kind of getting myself confused. We need to take the oil out, not the engine. As you can see, I nearly put the wrong thing. Oil first. Engine doesn't need doing, so it should be okay. We've got to find these suspension issues. So, you can see that front shock. That's gone. And that's the sway bar. We need to tyre off to get that out. A lot of this will speed up as soon as we start remembering what bits stop you taking other things off. The more we do, the more experience we gain, the quicker these will be, because we'll know what we can and can't do in what order. It's just that knowing. Brakes all look okay. If we take the axle out, can we get to the bearing? We can, but that one, I don't think that's the one that needs replacing. No, I don't think it is. So we'll put the front drive axle back on. I think the minimum percentage for this is like 40%. So we need to take off sway bar front end. That actually needs replacing anyway. And we need to take off this front shock. Well, that is out. Right, can we see anything? Look. Straight away, the steering. I don't know what it's called. But the steering definitely is doing. Rubber bush, does that? Because it's got a rusted screw or bolt, you kind of do wonder if that's going to be an issue. No, that looks okay. Just thought we'd check. Just because of the rusted bolt made me consider maybe that was an issue. But I think it's the steering rack, if I get my names correct. That's gone in the middle there, we can see it. I think we need to take the other tyre off though to get to it. We'll get rid of this tyre, and then we can do the bits that hold it together. I think that's the problem. I think that's the bit we're missing. We're still looking for a wheel hub, aren't we, as well? So we'll take this off, the axle off. Can we get it in there? That's yellow as well. I don't think it's that one. So front drive axle can go back in. But we need to get to the steering rack. So, outer tie rod can go off. The inner tie rod's now. I don't think we did the one on the other side, did we? No. No, we didn't do the one on the other side. I should have done what was around there. I don't know if we can get. There we go. We can get it from here. Bonus. Right. Steering rack can come off. So that's an issue we hadn't discovered. Now that front shock looks close. I'll give you that. It looks close, but not probably close enough. Can we replace anything? Can we fix anything rather than spend money? No, we can't. So we need a new steering rack. We need to take actually the front shock apart. I think this is the first time I've used this, other than the tutorial. So this is where it takes the shock apart. You can take the bits off, and you'll have 3 parts now. We can't still fix anything. Good to know. So let's have a look. So we need a steering rack. We need a front shock absorber. We need a sway bar, and that's it. So it's only actually the housing of the front shock we need to replace, I believe. I think the spring itself and the cap is fine. I think it's a cap. I'm trying to think what it's called. So the steering rack was quite expensive, but everything else, no, it isn't too bad. And we've got a bit of money now after fixing the first car, so that's a bonus. Right, we can put this shock absorber back together. So it's the front shock absorber we need replacing, the spring, and it was right, it was the cap. And there we go, that can come off. We're still going to find this bearing, and it's going to be on one of the rear wheels then, because if we've done everything to do with the front wheels, we've taken them off, checked their bearings. It's a rear wheel bearing, I would have said. Steering rack can go back on. Nice and simple. Inner tie rod on the left hand side. Trying to get a decent viewpoint. That's the problem with some of these. Can we you should be able to do it from there. Outer tie rod back on. Perfect. Well, yeah, we can do it from there. There we go, should be able to spin around and see it. Just saves coming out of the car and back in and out, back in again. But we're about to come out anyway there. So we need to do the inner tie rod. Back in, perfect. And the outer tie rod, hold it all in place. And that is the steering rack replaced and sorted. Front shock absorber, that's all we can put that together. That can go back in place as well. And now, what have we not done for the wheel to go back on? I've missed something, I don't know what it is. Wheels there. We haven't put the part that holds the shock absorber in place. It won't let us put the wheel on because we didn't put the new sway bar back in. At least it doesn't let you do certain things, because we could have put the wheel back on and not realised. Luckily, it won't allow us to do that without actually sorting out another issue first. That helps us massively, especially us that aren't massively au fait with cars. Right, we're still, like, vehicle combi side done. We still need to change the oil, that's fine. Wheel hub bearing we still need to find. Everything else is done. So it's a wheel hub bearing. And the only way of doing this is to take the wheels off the rear and see if we can find it. Now take the wheel hub cap and then we need to have a look. Is it going to be here? Yes, it is. First one. That was a bit of luck. Now, I don't think we can fix it because it's red, but I also don't think we can fix it anyway. So we will go and buy one. Can I fix it? I don't know. The not knowing is annoying. The minute we have to waste a couple of seconds just to go and check. I don't want to not fix it. Have we got one in the warehouse? No. Oh, we have. We have got one in the warehouse. Is it above the minimum percentage? I think the car was 40%. If we can use it from the warehouse, it saves us money. It's not allowing us to move it though, strangely. It only allows me to sell parts. Why is that happening? It's all a bit weird. I want to swap it. I want to bring it to my inventory. It's not allowing us to do it. All of the options are is sell part and that's it. Let's go back to that. This is our inventory. We can move items from our inventory. Not sure why we can't do that. Yeah, we can move parts from our inventory to the warehouse, but couldn't take them out, which seems a bit weird. Let's try again. And now it's allowing us to move parts. I don't know why that happened. But yes, now we can move parts. So we'll take the wheel hub bearing. And I think it's definitely over the minimum percentage. Which means we basically replaced it for free. That part came off a previous story car. So it doesn't cost us any money to replace this, which is what the warehouse is for. Obviously we need to fill it with fixed items later on. But that's all we need to do. That should be car done. Other than the oil, we still need to pour the oil in. Can't forget that. So wheel back on. We can lower the car down. And we can refill the oil. Oil cap is just there. Perfect. And I believe we're done. 2 cars. 2 different assortment of issues. Electric car and an older car that needed some work. And we used them from the warehouse, which is always a bonus. We actually spent £895 on parts for this car, which I don't think is too bad. I think that's a decent amount of money to spend, considering we spent £8 on the Autotutto. 800 is definitely a lot better than that. And the total payout means we get a profit of £1,056. Not a massive amount of money, but if we weren't differing a little bit on what bits can be fixed, it's a decent profit. And because we're using it from the warehouse, it didn't cost ourselves any money as well. I think it's definitely worthwhile from that respect. So I was considering spending some of our money, and I think we're only missing one tool, which is the welder. We've got £15,500. I think it's probably worth having now while we've got the money. We're only really going to use it later on building our own cars and things like that. But it just means that we've got every tool. And I think that's an important thing to have. I think it's another nice step for us to go towards. So I think, yeah, own all the tools. It's definitely a bonus. We've got 3 skill points to spend as well. I kind of want to save it for Renovator, so we won't spend skill points. But that is it for today. Nice looking, I would say shiny welder, but it's not. But that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the series, don't forget to subscribe. Drop a like on the video, really helps as well. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.